Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to have you here on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is presenting Pet Psychic AMINAH. Our topic is safeguarding your home from animal visitors. And just a disclaimer, if you're even thinking of raid or anything else like that, Pet Psychic AMINAH is not going to be happy with you. So let me present her and hear directly from her about that. I present Pet Psychic AMINAH. Hello.
If I had a skirt, you wouldn't know anyway.
So true. So when we were talking backstage about this topic, you said to me, I'm not going to be recommending raid. Why is that?
It is a really toxic poison. It's going to do the job, but it's also going to kill the honeybee, which if you've watched even a quarter of our shows, I talk about the honeybee with deep passion because they're going to be extinct if we don't change the way we're doing it. Raid is a part of that problem. I am just as culpable. I always try to be as honest with everybody as possible. I have used it, didn't know enough about it, hated the ants that invested in my kitchen, no matter how much I scrubbed the counters. I have had to walk the talk, and I didn't know what I didn't know. That's what we're doing. I'm hoping to enlighten you. Raid and many other things are so simple. You just spray a little. You'll get rid of the hundreds of ants, things going by. I'm going to give you a couple other tips so that you can not only not poison your family, because it is a toxic poison. As just an example, there's lots out there. I'm going to use just that one word of raid because I'm the most familiar with it. But we're going to talk about other ways that are easy, safe for your pets, for your children, and for your life. And I really encourage, if you know of another way, if you have experience with, because there's so many private companies out here doing great work, please share it with us, please, because that's how we all learn, is by sharing our experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the case. I think also what's important is to what you just said. Also, it's that ripple effect where it touches one life and then another and another and another. And I don't think people are necessarily that much aware of it. What do you think?
Well, I couldn't, if I had a confetti behind me, I would be doing that for what you said, because it's exciting to know that you're another loud voice of reason, that you understand that this is so important, that we all can educate each other, even one little thing at a time. One little suggestion. Have you tried? How many times have we been hanging out with girlfriends or at a meeting or something, and somebody just says, you look stressed. Are you all right? Oh man, you see what I'm dealing with. Da, 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 da. I love coming up with, it's just who I am, solutions outside the box. I don't believe there's a box. There is a box, but let's find another one. If it's not working for you, if the box is working, obviously we're great with the box. But so many of us are looking for something new, something else to try. Now, I am going to recommend one product specifically, but again, and I had to see, I haven't bought it in so long. I was like, I have to see if they're still selling it. So
what is it?
Means to try other things.
I want to know. I want to know what it is.
Are you
What
sure?
is? Yes, I want to know.
So do you think it's vegetable, mineral, or something else?
Something else.
Yes, I was like, go there. You can go there. I believe in you. It's a something else. So actually, it is Skin So Soft from Avon baby oil.
I haven't heard about that in
Okay.
a long time.
I know, and that's why I haven't used it in I have so many cats, no bug, not even the ants will try coming in the house. They're like, "There's just too many carnivores in the house." And I'm not talking about my daughter and I, I'm just talking about the cats, and they'll have a great time batting whatever spiders and bugs around. For some reason, I didn't go into the science of it. We used to, when I found out about Skin So Soft was probably 10, 20, 15, what a million years ago. I'll date myself there. And we started using it for mosquitoes when we were camping. Now you have to be careful. It is baby oil. So you're going to get a little dirt stuck to you and many other things. So there's something in the chemical that is the scent and the oil put together in that specific product that just about every bug I've ever introduced myself to, just because they're crawling around my house or my life, I've actually used Skin So Soft out hiking. Now it's a little bit more complicated because it is baby oil, so you're going to be hot and sweaty. You can put baby oil, and you get a little dirt stuck to you. So I'm not talking about this is all perfect. I'm talking about you need to find something that works for you, because mosquitoes specifically, I have a lot of experience with mosquitoes. Even though I'm in California, you'd say, well, how is that possible? I have traveled the United States over 7 times. In its entirety, 5. So I have also been to Europe. I've been to Alaska. Alaska does have really giant mosquitoes. I promise. They have stuffies, like stuffed animals. They sell them in their gift shops because they're so famous for their mosquitoes. So
I'm not going to be buying one of them, just so you know.
You won't buy one?
No. I said I will not be buying one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's not cuddly. It's just too creepy because it looks like a spider, because it's got all the long legs and the little antennas. I'm thinking, who? I mean, I don't know about you. I like my money to go do something I actually enjoy, not something that I can creep everybody out. Because they would have them. You'd stop at whatever. Because we went up the Alcan Highway. If you're familiar with this highway, it goes and takes you straight through all the way to the U.S. and then through Alaska, and we did that in a camper. So we saw a lot of gift shops, but that's ridiculous stuffy. It's not really cuttable. With a product like Skin So Soft, there's something in the oil and the odor that mosquitoes absolutely abhor. So personally, I'd rather be sticky and now it does, my body does absorb it, but it's baby oil. It's going to get on my clothes but I'd rather have that than the mosquitoes that are going to literally suck the life out of me. When you get into a place where mosquitoes are so prevalent, you're going to get down in the Keys, you're going to get in Florida, you're going to go into New Orleans, you're going to get any of the moist, really beautiful states with the moisture they have. But you're also going to get the pests. So find something that works for you. Every time you try something, Skin So Soft the perfect example, because you could just take a little and put a little bit of baby oil on, and you can't really rub it in, but you can put it into your pores and then go out and see, how it does. I don't expect you to go and put your hand out in the window and test it, but there are many things you can try that might work for your body to prevent getting either an illness from the mosquito bite, it still happens, and or getting just an allergic reaction. That's what the bite is. Your skin gets really red and itchy. Well, that's an allergic reaction. Technically, as far as I know, that has always been considered to be that. So we need to be really cognizant of what you're using, what you're trying, because try a little. What happens if you're allergic to it and you just didn't know? There's some
point. Yeah, that's a good point. You can put it, I think, here or also back here.
Right, exactly. And if you're in, like when we were in a state like Alaska, we were, it was here.
Showering in it.
Exactly. He's like, who showers?
Where's the skin sense shower? Is it here?
Exactly. But what I found when I was camping, tent or cabin or whatever, and going in and out, not just in Alaska, but back in the very swampy states that have a lot of moisture, New Orleans, going back there, I just put it on a little cotton ball. And then I would put it on the places that I knew, okay, I don't have a sleeve. And they're pretty good about not getting through your clothes. So put it on the skin that's exposed. So now, just to try, get a little before you leave, get a little and see if you have an allergic reaction. And now you can build up intolerance and tolerance to something. So don't buy it at the last minute and go, oh, it's going to work. And then it doesn't work for you. And you bought, 7 gallons of this stuff, but you could take a really nice bath. It would be a really nice bath, but find something that works for you. And there's another trick for a lot of biting bugs, and it's something you eat. Dr. Jacalyn, do you have any idea what you might eat that might?
Garlic?
Yeah.
Yes. What do
that
I
and vampires, I understand. I haven't tried it. Not for the vampires. Didn't know about those when I was eating garlic. The problem is I went on a camping trip with a bunch of women, and we were in a tent, and I think it was the tent. Yeah, not the cabin, because I've been on a couple. And guess what everybody complained about?
You smelled like garlic?
How bad.
Yeah. Can I just say something about that? From working out for decades, when someone is next to me, they have garlic, it's just so, it's that and the, is it ginger that comes from some kind of food?
Sometimes turmeric, but I haven't heard turmeric to be as smelly. I don't really know that I've ever smelled it on anybody. And I'm around Middle Easterns that use turmeric like we do salt.
Yeah.
So
it's not that. It's garlic and something else. It's really, you're just going, whoo.
So what you really have to be careful, especially, with the biters, is think about your perfume. Think about the perfume in your deodorant. Think about your perfume in powder you put on or makeup you're putting on. The really important thing for most people, and I'm talking about me, I have the most sensitive skin on the planet. So I have like this sore right here. We have no idea where it came from. I have no idea how to get rid of it. At some point it's scalp, and sometimes it's better, but I've always had really, really sensitive skin to just about everything. But most of it's right here. Right here. It's just great. And I've been a public speaker all my life. So it's just like, there's nothing I can do about it. So adding makeup for me just causes more problems. So I go with, I hope the message outlook goes the look, but you need to be careful. And this is the biggest tip I want everybody to hear. This is really, really important. One thing at a time. This is vital. You will never know what you're allergic to. You will never know what product is working or not if you used more than one. If you drink water from the same faucet every day and you get sick, that's pretty good clue that there's something wrong with the where the water's coming from at that location, either the water itself or the faucet or the cup or whatever. But you have a narrow space to figure that out. So what I want you to do is think about this for your pets. Why we're talking about this. Pets can get allergies from mosquitoes. Pets can get rashes. Pets can get heat stroke. Pets can, oh my gosh, breaking my heart. I was training my shepherd, which was a rescue, on our bike. And I could only go so far because he didn't have shoes on. It was too dangerous to put little booties on. We didn't do all that. So I had to go from not going 3 miles, 2 miles, 4 miles, because he could run. He could keep up with me physically, but his pads couldn't. So we were competing with agility. We were going to trials, and he was way into his optimum health and physical ability. And still one day he slipped a pad. which means his whole bottom of his foot gone, just gone. Basically wore off, and I didn't catch it because it didn't show any pre-signs when I'm checking his feet every day. When we would get back from an event, especially, he was down, he was in the yard playing with the kids. And at that point, my children were very small. So playing with the kids was a very easy activity. What I'm cautioning you is you might not see a problem for a few days, a few hours, a few weeks. You need to keep diligent about how I feel, how sore am I for these products to work in the right order, in the right time. Preempting injury is really the key. It really, really is the key. Try to think ahead of what you are trying to accomplish.
Okay. I like it. So let's talk about various types of animals that can be visiting. Today, actually, when I was sitting in the kitchen, I noticed there was this white tail outside of this slider, and it was a mouse. And it
Oh.
just, I don't know where it went because I don't know. And then there was a lizard, an iguana. There's all kinds of things here. Now, if they were to come into the house, let's just go one at a time. Let's start. If you have a mouse in your house, it rhymes. If you have a mouse in your house, what should you do? What are some things?
Well, the nice thing is you can try baby oil. Skin So Soft is one of them. They don't care for the scent. It's really, really strong to them. You could just put on a little cotton ball, dab it around the entryway that you think they're coming, because what I have seen and lived also is they just keep chewing out the screen, or they keep chewing out the house. Now, termites, we're not dealing with those kind of pests. That you need a professional for, and get all the tips you possibly can. There are a lot of things you can research on the internet and find out if they are home remedies, because they do work for a lot of people. So try these types of things before. Let me use Roundup as an example. Roundup is a great weed killer. I have used, did not know. This is why I'm so passionate about this, because if I could talk to 25 years ago me, maybe even longer, and said, wait a minute, this is not killing the weeds. My mom never used it, by the way, so we did a lot of weeding. So we could find out and say, wait a minute, this is not just killing the weeds. It's killing the fruit, it's killing animals, it's killing apples, it's killing trees. The honeybee specifically is in super, super, super danger of all kinds of extinction issues. That's why I always encourage you, no matter what, I've told everybody many times, I'm in a condo. So I have literally a dining room space of dirt, but I put everything in pots, and then I can just move with them because I'm only here temporarily. Who knows? I could move in 3 weeks. I could move in 6 years, but I want the plants to come with me. And my patio has more. So accommodate your space, but also realize that killing the weeds is killing the honeybee. And we really, really need it. So try and look up, Google, research, anything that might work. Mineral oil, Skin So Soft is a baby oil. It is pretty easy not to kill your plants with Skin So Soft, as long as you don't drown them.
What about the mouse?
The mouse, you need to clean. They come in, they really love the environment of clutter.
Oh.
So if we have one closet we're technically 3 stories. So the road is out there, but you got to walk up a step to get to the front door. And then you could go up here this way or up there that way to get to the next whatever, dining room, living room, and bedrooms. So you need to think about your structure and what is going to work for your structure. So is it put a trail around the door and the barrier? Because they won't usually, what I do with Skin So Soft is I put it on a cotton ball. and I run it around the edge. So my kitchen window is a very standard. I got the sink, counters, and there's a big giant window.
Do you have a picture of it? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so it's really easy to just take a cotton ball if I had mosquitoes or bugs and just move them around.
Mm-hmm.
Now with spiders, I'm the one who's walking them out the door because I love them, but they're eating the mosquitoes. If I'm going to have mosquitoes and I'm going to have a natural way of getting rid of them, no, I'm not inviting the spiders in because I have cats, so they'll chase them and they'll eat them and or they'll at least chase them and kill them. And I don't want them to do that because guess who's eating the mosquitoes? The spiders.
Right.
But I don't really think we need to coexist in my own house, outside and me inside. Yes. So I think I've talked about this, but not for a long time. So you know how you go and you get these fancy cups or a plastic cup or something, a styrofoam cup that you just say, oh, that's cute. And you wash it and you keep it for something. That's what I keep it for. I'm going to show you that. I take a piece of paper. So imagine this is just one piece of paper. So I take a piece of paper and I put the cup over said bug. Let's say it's a spider. And then I run the paper underneath so they can't get out. And then I just walk it out the door and put them outside on the plant or on the rail or wherever. I never have to touch them. Now that's not for everybody. I get that. But if they got in, try to see if you have a hole in your screen. I hate to tell you to keep your windows closed unless it's bad weather, because having that natural airing out of your house is great. Great for the bugs too. So be cognizant of that.
All right. Okay. What about the lizard, the random lizard?
Which you might have more than the rest of us have.
Well, today we had 4 iguanas, giant iguanas on our roof, and we have a atrium. So there's a screen so you can actually see them on top of it. But then we have lizards that are, little.
Right. Standard lizards.
They could easily get into a house as opposed to
easily.
Yeah.
And a good simple broom is going to, push them out. And the only thing I ask you is keep the contact of the bristles to the floor so that we're not killing anybody. We're just squishing them out. And this, I understand that this is not the capability of everyone. So what I hope I've shared with you over all of these episodes, and please go back and listen to all the shows we've done, is my platform is coexisting, regardless if that's coexisting with your fellow humanity or nature, because we need each other. We need each other desperately, especially right now. So every time you kill that bug, whatever that is, it could be from the mosquito, the spider, to a great horned owl, which is not a bug, but
what about the cockroach? Please?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. I think black bug. What's the little black bug saying? Thank you. And the cockroach and all of those icky things. Then you go, I don't know why they're here. That's not my job. I can do better. And I want to encourage you that we all can do better. We don't have to understand why one of your animals eats their poop. There, I disagree. We would, because an animal like a dog specifically, or a cat, I've seen it more in dogs. I don't know why, just maybe my experience, are eating feces. And that's a big, big sign that they are not getting the nutrition balanced. So they're going after either iron or minerals or something that are in their poop. And it can become a bad habit. So this is a vet visit. This is somebody to step it up and say, wait a minute, my animal's doing this. So that usually screams there's a nutrition issue. It's the same thing with people who chew on their nails. Animals can do it too. There are nervous reasons. There are health reasons. It is time to look into those things. So that's why we're talking about how do we manage that and still be a part of the world without using Raid. That's why I recommend either mineral oil or rosemary oil and or scent. Your house will smell wonderful, but the bugs aren't going to like it very much. So they don't come in. Check your screens. This is a really, really simple thing just to keep your health going from the bugs. And check your screens and see how they work. Now, we don't wear shoes in our house. We save a lot of time cleaning the floor. I'll tell you. Now, we have house shoes that we can wear. That's totally up to each person to do that. But we also are not tracking in the bugs, the scents, and the things that they're going to love and they're going to hang out. And if I accidentally step into something, God forbid, the gum of hell that you never get off your shoes, or some kind of poop or dirt, that's a really great way to keep your floors clean, especially if you have pets and a small child, either or both. Because what are they going to do? Everything's in the mouth, everything's here. And that's really where you get the struggle on how and what did they get into. There's your first start of, okay, where do I start from here? Washing their feet? I don't know. That's not necessarily something everybody can do physically, time-wise, all of that type of stuff. But it is a good practice if you're in a neighborhood where you're concerned about the health and well-being of your family because somebody has immunity compromised, health issues, asthma. We can go on and make the list very, very long. But having a clean floor is a great, great start. And I don't know about you, I'm not a fan of mopping. So I just leave the shoes downstairs.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Something that I just want you to touch on,
Okay.
because when you mentioned about mice coming in when there's a lot of clutter, you see this on television when they go into people's homes, people who are hoarders, and you
Yeah.
see the dishes piled up in the sink, and you see all of these insects there. And I just wonder, like, how do they know to go there?
It's the smell. They are highly, now imagine you're this big. Here's my thumb. There we go. You're this big or smaller, and you've got this giant world and every bird on the planet hunting you
Right.
for dinner and they're young. So you have to be very crafty, very ingenuitive, very outside the box. And I'm encouraging you to be the same. Think about it. Maybe see, now, if you're me, and I know I can't use me as a good example because I'm strange. I get that and I love it. But I'm going to go and watch the bugs. I did it as a kid. I'm going to go read up on why they do what they do. And more importantly, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to see what they do, see what they need. That's why I love adopting and going and buying plants that are clearance. This is the best word for it, because they don't water them. I get to not only bring them back, but I get to learn for myself another technique, a different way of doing it. I did a whole brand new planting of my stairway, and someday we'll take a walk and I'll show everybody what I'm talking about is all these rescued plants. For the first time, though, I actually bought new plants as opposed to rescue plants, and I mixed them with both of them. It's been a wonderful learning experience. Things I was told to do 20 years ago don't work anymore. The animals, the plants, they changed. So what you're going to learn today might not be relevant for 6 years ago. And when you said, oh, I can't do it, it's really, really hard. It's commitment, it is. But what I'd love to see everybody do is have far less chemicals in their life, especially your pets, because they're the ones licking their fur and their paws. Luckily, we don't really do that. So I want to encourage you to do your due diligence, do what you can, find out what you can, and start anywhere. Anywhere. I don't want to say, okay, this is step 1. You have to do it. This is step 2. This is step 3. No, you do your step 1, wherever that is. If you want to just stop wearing perfume because you noticed that it's bothering your dog, or maybe you don't know that. And so many vets are still not necessarily asking, what chemicals do you use in your house? What perfume or cologne does anybody wear? You can get animals that literally will have a rash on their feet because they've been exposed to some kind of cosmetics from the person. That could be hairspray. Just think about it. You spray your hair, where does the rest of it go? To your floor. To your floor. And your animals are smelling that and go and dealing with that. Some won't be able to. And a lot of vets might miss that. But if you bring it up, I bet they'll be glad to help.
For sure. You know, I really resonate with what you just said because I gave up hairspray as a result of this show. And I'm really highly aware of anything that is an aerosol that sprays. And I love what you shared also about the screens, checking the screens. And I'm wondering if I don't want to use a specific brand, but essential oils, using a diffuser, is that good or is that bad to put into the air?
It is a 50-50 deal, because just like you and I, it is going to be, will it cause an allergy? How will you know that until it doesn't? Will it be irritating in any way and just give your dog or cat or lizard, whatever your pet is, a nasal allergy or a nasal burn? Because it drops. It doesn't matter if we put it on a cotton ball, and let's say we dab whatever we've got on, and then we go hug the pet. Most of us do that. So somehow your animal is going to come into contact with it. If it's not the floor, because you sprayed it on, and that can be anything. It can be anything that you're spraying, any kind of deodorant, any of that kind of stuff. What I really like is, I am lucky. My bathroom is very singular. Tub, shower, sink, very, very singular. So not too many of my pets come into the bathroom with me. I had one of our kittens a while back just loved to watch the shower, and she thought that was fascinating. But I also had already stopped using hairspray and any of that type of stuff. The only thing I had was in a moist, like a lotion consistency. So I just didn't touch her until it was completely dissolved. And I waited probably an hour to make sure it was all dissolved off my hands, because I don't want to find out that my pet has an allergy, because it is one of the most difficult things, it seems to me, that the vets really strive with. Even MDs are really struggling with trying to diagnose that and saying, oh, it's a contact allergy. Oh, you touched this and then you got this big red rash. Well, that'd be easy. Pets and people don't always present in the same way. So you need to figure out what works for you. And sometimes you have to kind of tweak it as you go and figure out what works for you. One product that is hypoallergenic, taunted and touted by everybody as a great product, might be great for 90% of the people. And if you're me, you're the 1% that doesn't.
I'm with you.
The 6% that doesn't.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, it must be just something about whatever.
Yes.
I don't get heat burns. I can be out in the sun for hours and never blister or never do anything. But I also grew up in the sun. And it's different than your sun, where you really get that reflection and the moisture, and it's a whole different burn when I was in Florida. So here in California, it's a dry heat. It's a different kind of burn. I'll get really, really red, but in 2 days, it's done. I have never blistered, to my memory. I have never blistered on anything. You know, the hardest part was walking in Death Valley. It is called Death Valley for a reason. Everybody dies. It literally burned through the sand. When we would walk on the sand, it didn't matter, asphalt or sand. it literally felt like my tennis shoes were melting under my feet. So that it's beautiful country. It's a beautiful state. But don't go where you don't know. Would you walk your dog barefoot around in a place, a beach, a sand? Like, for example, there is a place near Los Angeles. I spent a lot of time there because I have family there. And if you go out to some of the marinas and some of the beach areas, there are a few. You really need to be careful what happens to your dog's feet, because you're not only going to pick up whatever disease is in the sand, or somebody left, God forbid, a piece of glass, and I think it's US wide, but somebody please let me know. I'd love to know what it is. That glass has been banned from all beaches and all community waters like lakes and that kind of stuff, because too many people were either leaving them and then they'd get broken, and now you've got shards you can't find, and so many people and pets were getting injured from these accidental things. But it just didn't need to happen. If you pick up all your waste, then the world stays healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, where we are, I'm in Florida now, but where we will be in New Jersey, there have been a number of dolphins and whales washing up on beaches. And what I've been reading is that allegedly it has something to do with wind farms, what's it called?
Yes. Yep.
Wind energy, which we can't get into that today. That's a whole other subject. But yeah, so we are all responsible, and it starts with each and every one of us. And that's why I think this was an important topic about safeguarding your home, because many times our go-to is eliminate, destroy, and get rid of. But with everything that you've shared about how everything's connected, we have to really give other thoughts to that. What I typically do is, we had a huge, it's a palmetto bug. It's a roach, but they fly. Can you imagine? They give the roach the ability to fly. I mean, how cruel is that? And
it's one of the longest living. You're going to find cockroaches in Egypt in cases with little gold vests.
They're like impermeable. There's like nothing you can do. So I just stand there and scream, and my mom takes care of it. I just go, Mom, look, do you see it? But seriously, I'd like to close out just with that one. When a cockroach is, to me, whatever their purpose is, they're just kind of scary. They just remind me of like a horror film or something. And I don't want to be near them. Yeah. So you can use a broom, I guess, and push it out. Or this one wouldn't have fit into one of those solo cups. So what do you do with it?
Well, for some people, I will say what a lot of people do is say, and I've heard you say this in other topics, is I bless you, I'm going that way.
But then, when it's the cockroach, because it flies, it was going towards the bedroom. Like, it's going in there, okay? And I'm not going to be.
Absolutely. And so we can do what we can. Windows, doors, closed, vents, all of these types of things. What you have to find is, what I have been told, not by a scientist, love to hear that, is the reason Skin So Soft is so popular for mosquitoes and bugs and all this. You have tried for the cockroach, and all we do is put it on a little cotton ball.
And touch the thing?
Pardon me?
And touch the cockroach?
Yeah. No. So here's my Kleenex, here's my cotton ball, and you put a little on, right? And then you dab it on surfaces that you absolutely like. I got ants once on the kitchen counter, and I was like, oh, no, this is not gonna go. So I took the cotton ball and ran it around where they would come up, where they're coming from the window, any access, not the whole counter. Not the whole counter.
But in this example, it's right there. You see, it's you and it. What do you do?
What do you do? You need a bigger cup.
I'm seriously not. It flies. The thing flies. Can you imagine turning around and going?
You need a net. Butterfly nets?
Oh, a net. Like a
and and it has a long arm.
Yes, that is a very good idea.
And then guess what? They're all covered. And then what we do, I don't have a piece of paper here, not close.
You
So
drag
we do, pretend this is a piece of paper, and that your little cup is here. Here's my little cup. And you're going to slide the piece of paper under the cup.
Yes.
And then it becomes sealed. Because they
And
look at it like, what the heck? And move as fast as you can. Just don't drop them, because you got to do it all over again.
And
And
get
then
it
just by
outside.
the fifth bug, you're an expert.
yeah, that's it.
You can put it on your resume.
Yeah, exactly. Who knew? Who knew?
Don't call me, call somebody else. But it's okay to be afraid of everything. What I think we don't understand is why. Sometimes we don't want to learn, we don't want to figure it out, and that's okay. I'd encourage you to do it at your own pace. It's the same thing we do when I'm working with somebody who their child is desperately wants a pet, or their spouse, or they want to rescue this pet, but they're terrified of animals. I grew up with a sister who'd gotten bitten as a child and really struggled being around dogs, really struggled, because it was never dealt with. Not really, not enough for her. She luckily, as a parent, was able to conquer that. Sometimes it's about understanding the animal you're afraid of. I can't tell you how many times I've had to stop people, I've even done it publicly, when they're swatting honeybees. I was like, no. She's very friendly, I promise. She doesn't want to sting you because she dies. That's not how this works. So what we're doing here, I hope everybody walks away with is just a little bit better of understanding.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying for, is that better understanding of saying there is another way.
Yes.
Your way might be totally unique to you. And that's okay, because maybe you need a straw because you need the distance. And that they make fly swatters now with like these gigantic handles.
Yeah,
Even
they
at the
do.
dollar store.
Yeah, they've thought of everything because they know people are intimidated or afraid or
Right.
whatever the
And
case
one
may
of these
be.
days I'll get my fly swatters out. I don't know where they are, but they have flowers on them.
Aw, pretty
And
fly swatter.
And I mean, you've got the handle, and then you got that little top with the part where you kill.
Yes.
And so my daughter's like, why do you have those? We don't have mosquitoes. I said, no, I got them for the flower.
Okay, we need to have you on another show to talk about that. But
There's no
But
doctoring here.
I can't even go into that right now. I
At
don't
this
know what that means.
age, there's no hope. I
No.
am going to be as quirky as I have been since day one. I'm the one playing with lions, tigers, and bears. Come on. I
It's
absolutely
okay.
adore
We
them.
love you the way you are. Just stay the way
I
you are.
appreciate that.
So we have to sign off for today. And I
Absolutely.
just want to thank everyone. It's been a wonderful week of education. We will be back on Monday. And if you missed the beginning of this, we'll be running the show. I'm doing reruns now every day. I thought, why don't I
That's
do
so
reruns?
exciting.
We'll rerun all the shows from the beginning of the day. We'll run them at night. So you can see this show in its entirety tonight,
That's
Eastern
wonderful.
time. You can find it on our YouTube channel. You can also find it through our website, usaglobaltv.com. So Amina, how can people reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
The best way to reach me is email. It's the most reliable. I see it the soonest than any other message I get. And that is bridgingworlds.us is my website. You can go straight through that link, and it is bridgingworlds.us. Everything you want to know about me, all my links to Facebook. My Facebook is fun. It's educational. It's rarely sad, but I'm trying to help pet owners with lots of free advice. So you can always find me on Facebook under Bridging Worlds.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pet Psych Amina. Thank you to
Thank
our
you.
audience, whether you're listening or watching. Have a beautiful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Bye.